again. How does something go like that? Am I live now?
Yep, you're live.
All right. This is Ugly Old Goat. Holla, holla, holla. Save. Build a. Sound money. All right. Guys, it's been a long time. I've been out of it. I had a personal crisis here last year, and the last 4 months, I was very sick. I didn't know if I was going to make it or not. I'm back about 80 to 90%. You might be able to tell a little bit in my voice. I literally could not speak for about almost 3 months. So, and then lots of things have been changing, but I think it's all going to work out in the end. For, all things work for good for those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. So anyway, we're going to go through and review a lot of different things now, because I'm going to start trying to get on YouTube and doing these shows at least a couple times a week and maybe more. And going to be working to get my health back. So any tips on that, I'd be glad to listen to. Right now, I'm just walking the dog to the beach. That's my exercise. So, anyway, I'm here. I want to discuss the latest article I wrote. Roger Ver, I found out, was thrown in prison for supposed tax fraud and a mail fraud. And I learned about it because of a tweet that Dan Heltz sent out. So let's go to that article if we can. We'll just go through it briefly. And, when I first got into Bitcoin, I had a very high opinion of Roger Ver because he was, a great Bitcoin evangelist. And then, of course, we got into these Bitcoin wars. And the name of his book, I don't know why Arthur Hayes' picture is up on front of our caption here, but anyway, we're just getting back. We have a lot of technical things we have to work out. So let's pull up the article. Can you do that? Are you looking at the article? All right. And guys, basically, the hijacking Bitcoin by Roger Ver is an appropriate title, because that's essentially what he was trying to do, and now he's writing a book about it. And it's kind of sad, everything that he wrote about, and particularly at this time. I think he just released the book and then he got arrested. And some people were glad to see it. I'm never glad to see anybody arrested in jail. I've had my time in there. So anyway, check out that article. Again, he just makes all kinds of bad contentions in that book. And just scroll down and I'll read a little bit of it. So, okay. And basically he says, the subtitle is, or the Confessions of a Bitcoin Narcissist. Now, I think we're all narcissists, but I think maybe Roger is a little bit more than some people, okay? I think we all are. I think that's the nature and the condition that we live in this world. We're all pretty self-centered. But he comes across in the book that, I'm the victim, Bitcoin's unfair, Bitcoin's not Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash is Bitcoin. And he's kind of also thinks that he has a monopoly on Austrian economics. He feels like he's been censored, and the social media was all against him. And of course, none of those things were true. In fact, when he's pointing fingers, he's got 3 fingers pointing back at him, because he's done all of these things. Scroll down a little bit, and there's the tweet that kind of caught my attention. That's when I found out that that he had been arrested. And all right, and this is I've got lots of links here. This link goes to what the IRS is actually saying about him, and you might want to check that out. And he's definitely been targeted. Okay, we've seen some of the big names in Bitcoin be arrested and incarcerated. Legitimate businessmen like Arthur Hayes, and I think CZ from Bit Finance. But I think Rogers is special because he has spoken out strongly, against our tax system. And of course, I think no labor should be taxed. The whole idea of income tax is a very unfair thing. Instead, we pay people not to work and we tax those who do work, which is completely upside down. And hopefully, this next generation will fix it. It's a generational thing. It's not going to get corrected overnight. It may not happen, and maybe your children will correct it. It's not going to. I probably won't be around to see it, but I hope it happens. But he didn't pay a big enough exit payment. He's been vocal about taxes, and this is an interview from Peter Schiff. Now, I know a lot of Bitcoiners think that Peter Schiff is not worth listening to, but he has a lot of good things to say. He's an old gold advocate, and I get that. And his father died in prison because he was a tax protester. And so I am concerned about Roger. I'm afraid that he might be doing a lot more prison time than we saw with Arthur Hayes. And Arthur Hayes, these guys are wealthy guys, and so maybe Roger Ver will be able to buy his way out. But this is a sad commentary on our current justice system. I know Arthur Hayes was able to write a sweetheart deal where he was never even incarcerated. They let him appear and then go back to Singapore, and which is just unprecedented. If it was you or me, they would hold us without bail, either being a flight risk or a danger to the society, and that's how they deny people bail nowadays, which is totally unconstitutional. So again, I was an admirer of him, particularly with his libertarian ideas, but it really disappeared when he started with the Bitcoin wars. And because he was a big blocker, he thought the big blocks was the way to go. He sees Bitcoin as being cash, which, and I know it definitely was on the title page. It's written as a peer-to-peer cash system, but we're learning along the way what it's about. And if Bitcoin is the standard, it's not going to be used as cash. It just won't be. The standard is never used for cash because it's the standard that is the reserve, and the cash is issued on the standard, and that's what banking is. And so those of us who believe now, Dan Held is a big believer in Bitcoin as a store of value. Roger Ver is a big one. It's a medium of exchange. And my position is, hey, it's sucks as a medium of exchange, and it's a terrible store of value. Now, that's in parentheses because we know in the long term it's a great store of value. It's a great speculation, so we hodl. But as far as being a store of value it's volatile, and so it doesn't really work very well as a store of value except for the very long term. Most people that step into Bitcoin, they have about 2 to 3 to 4 year adversity before they're redeemed. Bitcoin redeems itself. It's never so. Anyway, check out this article. There's a lot to it. The foreword was actually written by Jeffrey Tucker. He was formerly running the American Institute for Economic Research, and he endorsed this book as a huge, important documentary history. And that is laughable because it's not. It's just a very much self-serving book. And Sour Grapes, kind of a book from Roger Ver. And there is a good book out there called The Block Size War, and that actually outlines the whole thing. It has no forward to it, and it doesn't really have an agenda to it either. It's just much more objective. And I think if Jeffrey Tucker had read E.C. Harwood while he worked at AIER, he would not have made this blunder. Again, the white paper did envision Bitcoin as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, but it also envisioned Bitcoin as digital gold. And there really few people understand the limits of cash or how a gold standard emerged in the 19th century with the evolution of sound commercial banking. It's also known as self-liquidating commercial paper. And that actually resulted in the Gilded Age, which was the most rapid progress any country has ever had. And it happened it was after the Civil War through the beginning of World War, well, actually about 1910. Just before they nationalized this system through the Federal Reserve. So, except for very rare exceptions like the 1949 California gold rush, gold has never circulated as cash. It started out as cash. Roger's right on that. It starts out as cash. But once people use gold coins in trade, but once it's adapted as a standard, then it's not really used much for cash. It can be used for cash, but it's not used for cash. And it simply becomes a yardstick. And I've outlined, I have reference after reference. If you want to get more into this, you can buy my book on how to put yourself on the gold standard in one easy lesson. You can get it on Amazon. We have a special. You can get all my books and a bunch of stuff for the same price. You'll get the hardback books and the digital editions. We'll go into that later. It's on the website. We call it the equity trading starter kit. And basically, it's just, if you're just getting new into Bitcoin, it's a great place to start. If you don't have a hodl yet, if you're hodling, starting to hodl, it's a good little starting kit to start with. So, anyway, check out the article. It's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun writing it. You can kind of see there how Roger hijacked Bitcoin. There he is as a Bitcoin Pharisee. And then he went into Lightning Network. And, I get it. Lightning Network, it's really not a cash system because it still is. It is actually Bitcoin, but it's on a different network. It's not on the Bitcoin blockchain. So it's been, it's clunky. It's not easy to use, but the biggest question is, why do you want to use it? You want to hodl Bitcoin. You really don't want to spend it. You want to save it. And, and it just makes sense. Jimmy Song wrote this article years ago. Lord Keynes would be proud because when he said, hey, what you really want to do with Bitcoin is you want to spend, on your credit cards where you get rewards and you can back charge on something that's potential frauds, and just sell enough Bitcoin to pay off that credit card every month. And that's the right way to be using Bitcoin. It's kind of silly to be using it. I love to get paid in Bitcoin, but I hate paying other people in Bitcoin, and that's the way it should be. It should be something that you want to keep and not spend. And here's all kinds of reasons why Bitcoin will not ever function as cash. I think there'll be cash issued based on the Bitcoin standard as two different things. It'll be a fiduciary money based on Bitcoin. And that's what cash is. So, at any rate, have fun with this. There's a lot to it. I go very deeply into things. And again, at the very end, my heart goes out to Roger Ver. Okay, no one has more empathy for him than I do. I did, 11 years in the federal prison, and sitting in prison, it's not fun. And he has an enthusiasm for freedom and sound money, and his enthusiasm, it's contagious. It moves a lot of people. He wins debates not on his argument, but on his enthusiasm. So you can't really, you want to have that enthusiasm for Bitcoin, and but there's a lot of us that are just as enthusiastic as he is, but we're not for big blocks, and we want a secure chain with proof of work. The longest chain with proof of work is Bitcoin. And so, at any rate, looking back, I now consider my stint in prison as a net positive. I saw some of the very best things and the very worst things in prison, and it really opened my eyes to reality. And I hope it has the same effect on Roger Ver. Okay. So, at any rate, that said, do we have any chat? Or do we have a chat?
Yeah.
Let's see if
over
we-
here on this side.
Guys, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to cover Bitcoin now a little bit. We haven't done this a long time, so I doubt that we're going to get a whole lot of followers, but I'm going to start doing it more regularly, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to it's never too late for Bitcoin. All right, this is a more recent article. The reason that we did this is the results of dollar cost averaging, and we've updated it, and it really depending upon when you get in, it works, and it's Bitcoin is a store of value, but it's volatile. It's not it's not like gold or silver that kind of maintains its value, but it has wide swings. It goes up, tenfold and then drops 80 to 90%, and that's just the way Bitcoin has always done. So what we've done is we've done a study on if you had the very worst timing and you start buying Bitcoin at the peak, but you just keep doing it with a disciplined method, you're going to come out and do just fine. So here, this is this the last one you did?
This is 2021.
Okay, this is the last one that we did. Well, if you actually started in 2021, that's when the peak was at 61,000. And if you have dollar cost average to that right now, you have a total investment of, what is that, 16,000? And now you've doubled your funds. It's basically worth 34,000. But that's not always the case, because if you look, if you started on October 15th, now which one is that? Okay.
2017.
Okay, this is the one from 2017. This is the second peak, okay? Go up to the first one. Let's go see the very worst. Let's say if they're latecomers, because a lot of people are just coming into Bitcoin. If you just started late and started buying Bitcoin at the highest peak, you would see that now you've doubled your funds, but you had to kind of go through the pits of hell to get there. Because the market had gone down to, what, 17,000. So you actually, when you had $7,500 in there, you lost about half, not quite half, about 40% value. So it wasn't a very good store of value when that market was going down. But what happens when you dollar cost average, you're, by the very definition of dollar cost averaging, you're buying more at the lows than you are at the highs. So this is what happens. So as the market recovers, it took, let's see, how long did it take before he was breaking even? It looks like it took
1, 2, 3.
Took about a year.
5.
Looks like about
A year and a half.
about March of 23. Yeah,
Right
before you finally turn the corner, and now it looks pretty good. And this is the function of Bitcoin. So you just have to keep plotting at it. Now go down to the next chart, and you'll see if you started a little earlier, you've got a total investment. You started when the previous peak before the 60,000 peak was 17,000. If you started there and you just put in $500 a month, you'd have 39,000, and that 39,000 would now be worth over 200,000. So that is the way you want a dollar cost average. And of course, if you're an early Bitcoiner, as I was, you can take the one of the very first peaks was in 2014, and the market closed at $874. And if you just put in $500 a month every month for since the last 10 years, okay, you'd have invested $62,000, $62,500, and that is now worth $3 million. That's why Bitcoin works. That is the
That's
function.
money.
But, you know, life goes on. You have daily expenses. You got to feed those hungry mouths. You got to take care of the family. And so sometimes it's really hard. And then you have crises that come up in the life, okay? Now, part of what I do is trading, and I've been very successful at it. And so let's go there. I'm going to be, all right, go to the website first so they can see the, just go to, so they can see the tabs.
There it is.
Okay. When you go to the website, just hit Bootcamp. And this is a new program that we're coming up with. And guys, the reason I'm doing it, how many of you out there have traded? You wind up thinking you make a whole lot of money. You know, you might turn $5,000 or $10,000 into $50,000 or $100,000 or several $100,000, and then you wind up losing it all. It's not that you don't know how to trade. Is that I guarantee you, in almost 100% of the cases, the downfall of traders is money management. And one of the things that I'm finding, I've always stressed that with equity trading, and this is why I came up with that idea of you want to trade your equity and not the market. There's another part to this, and that is you also need to be accountable. And so this is why I've come up with it. I wasn't accountable. You know, that's why actually my beautiful wife, Eunice, last August, she decided she did not want to be a mother or a wife anymore, and she just up and left. And needless to say, it hasn't been easy on us, on our family, but that's the way it was. And I take responsibility for that. I'm the one at fault. You can read about it. I've mentioned it. I'm not going to go into all the details, but I found out, you know what? I need to be accountable. And so I know that other traders do. So I'm coming up with this program. It's really a mentorship program, a coaching program. I consider myself an excellent trader, and not because I have the best technical skills, but I have learned to risk manage my trading. And one of the things that I teach is that there's a lot of large traders, and we've seen them over the last years that become small traders. And there's some of us small traders that become large traders. But the wise large trader chooses to become a small trader again. In other words, you trade, but you trade with only a very small part of your assets. And so what I've found is that most I've found that one thing, you need to be a successful trader for a year. If you can consistently trade and at the end of a year have a profit, then you're at least you have the potential to become a very, very successful trader. It's not easy to do. And so what this program is for people, if you're a trader that you have consistently, you try trading and you just lose year after year, or maybe you've made a lot and lost it all. Well, it's because you need to have accountability. So I'm on top of money management, and to make money management more real and really work for you is there needs to be accountability. And so that's what this what we call boot camp is. I've also found that most people, once they start trading, they have some very, very bad habits, and they have to be broken. And so that's why I have come up with this program. And if you go to the website, there is a week-by-week breakdown. And again, you'll see that too. And basically, what we're going to do is we're going to break you down for the first 3 or 4 weeks, and then build you back up. And the way we're going to do this is I'm going to, to register. First of all, I don't want just anybody signing up for this. It's not cheap. It's $15,000. It's a lifetime membership. But you're going to get not just my help. You're going to get help from a lot of our members. I'm going to develop this thing so it's really a coaching and accountability group. And we're going to start trading right away. So we want you to have be able to trade. I don't care what exchange. I use BitMEX, but you can trade on whatever exchange you're used to. And I publish all my trades to all my members. And so you'll get all my trades. You'll actually get a history of all my trades that was documented by a third-party source. In fact, let's go to, before you sign up for this thing, I do require that you read this article. This is a very in-depth article, and I want you to read this article, and then if you're interested, book a call with me, and we'll have a Zoom call. We'll have a one-to-one meeting just with me. I want to get to know you a little bit. I want to find out your trading history, and it's not for everybody. If you're just
At the bottom, all the way at the bottom to book.
Oh yeah, you go all the way down to the bottom here, and to book a call, to hit that book a call button, and this is how it works. You actually go here, and then you'll schedule a call with me, but you have to be qualified. I don't want you to sign up for this. If you don't have a net worth of at least $250,000, I really don't want you to sign up for it. It's a large investment, but if you've lost more than $15,000, this will be a lifesaver, because that's not going to happen again to you if you follow what we do. It just won't. And you need to kind of answer these questions, and then I qualify you. You may or may not get the call. If you don't get the call, we do refer you to, go back to the blog. Where's it up here? Where's the website?
The third one.
Huh?
The third.
That one. Okay. If you can go up here and get the start kit. Guys, if you don't qualify, we're charging $290 plus shipping, so it's $350 anywhere in the United States, Canada, or Mexico. You'll get all this stuff. You're going to get the signed copies of my book. You're going to get and all the stuff that I teach is on the website. You can dig it out, and it's free. But if you don't qualify, this is the way you want to go. It's the way you can support my work, and that's the way you go. But if you are interested in this, I'm just starting now. It's $15,000, but since I'm new at this and we're still putting it together, I will offer I'll make it a 20% discount, which is $3,000. So instead of $15,000, we'll do it for $12,000. And again, give me a call. Or make an application. I can only handle about 2 or 3 calls a day, and we also require payment in Bitcoin. So if you need to have a HODL, and you need to pay in Bitcoin, and if you're ready to do that, then we'll work with you. Now, this article is really something that you want to read, because I cover everything. I cover a lot of important things. I actually give you the secret to trading, and the biggest mistakes. And the biggest mistake I see people make is they rely solely on technical analysis or fundamental analysis. The second thing they do is they try to predict where the market is going. And you know what? Nobody knows where the market is going, okay? And the third mistake is they're trading without money management. And all of these mistakes are fatal. You can be the best trader in the world. And if you fall into this trap, you're going to lose everything eventually. And I've had a lot of acquaintances that have lost everything, lost their families, and I've known several people who've taken their own life. And it's because you're just not you're not in the right mindset to be trading. And I'm not alone in this. Tone Vaves actually showed me this on Jay Wells Wildwood Jr. He actually wrote a whole book. It's kind of the Bible on technical trading, and yet he says the most important thing is about money management. But that's the only thing he talked about, money management. So I knew that there's a need for this. And it's a personal thing. It's an accountability thing. And so what you want to do is you want to hang with other successful traders. And in our group, these people that are members of the Ugly Old Goat group, they've all paid a half a Bitcoin to be members. And I learn from them all the time. And so I'm going to be working with them. We're going to figure out, hey, how can we do this? They've helped me when I've been down, and they've been helped when they've been down. And this is a great picture. I think I actually took this out of Trader Tom, one of his comments, but it was so true. He has a great book called Best Loser Wins. And really one of the secrets to trading is how to handle loss. It's more important than how to handle gain. Handling gains, it's not easy because it tends to go to your head and you get the King Kong complex. But to really work on yourself is a lot of hard work. And that's what we're going to be doing. I teach that money management trumps fundamental and technical analysis. But I'm now adding that. I think I didn't put into effect accountability. And if you just think about it, the only thing that you can't control where the market's going, but the only thing you have control of is your equity. And that's what this is all about. So the secret is with you. And this is what we're working on. We're working on. Now here's, and again, I'm qualified to do this because I have a published track record, and my belief is anybody that's trying to sell you a coaching system or any kind of trading system, if they can't show you their track record, then you don't need to follow them because they're full of BS. You can cherry pick anything, but these are all my trades that were well documented by our good friend of ours, and I learned a lot about it. I didn't realize that at that time there was a rebate if you were a market maker, and I think 7% of my profits were from just being a market maker. So check this out. Read the whole thing. You'll find out why I'm doing this. It's a great article, very thorough. I outline what we're going to be doing week by week. Let's see. All right. Where's week 1? Advanced equity trading. Okay. Well, there's 3. Oh, there's week 1. Okay. Yeah, the first week we're actually going to have you do a personality test, and we're going to find out. You need to find out where you are emotionally. I did a little test and found out that my personality type is an enthusiast. So it just confirmed what I already knew, okay? I have no problems executing trades, okay? I do have a problem with patience, but especially discipline. And so I have to watch that. I have to be very disciplined, and that's why I need to have people around me watching me because discipline is my weakness. I'm better at patience simply, I think, because of my age. And execution, I've never had a problem with. So there are other people that have a different person. They're much better analysts than I am, and they figure the market out. They got a position, and I knew a guy that was like. In fact, he was I think he was a graduate of Yale, He actually became the managing editor of Reuters, and yet, and he could call markets, but he never could execute. I actually saw tears coming from his eyes once because he knew a big move was coming in soybeans, and it took off without him, and he couldn't move. And so you need to examine yourself and find out what your personality is. And that's basically what I'm going to be doing. I need to talk to you and get to know you personally to help you through it. And then that's what we do the first week. And then the second week, and actually I'm going to be getting on Zoom calls at least once a week with you through this. I'm going to give you a lot of homework to do. So you're going to be busy. It is a boot camp. I'm going to load you up with all kinds of things to do. And we're the second week. We're not going to hesitate. We're going to jump in trading. I don't want you to follow me. I want you to develop your own trading style. I publish my trading. Incidentally, if you want to see my actual trades, I think if you sign up under the guild at BitMEX, I think you'll see them in real time. I do put them on the group meeting also. But there's no magic beans. And so what we do is we focus on what I consider backwards thinking that I know I had, I think most people have, and you have to break through that. And then finally at the end of week 4, you'll hopefully have your head screwed on right, and your transformation should be complete, and then you're going to be introduced to 100, at least about 100 to 200 traders who benefited from what I teach, and a lot of them very successful. And they paid at least a half a Bitcoin. So right now, Bitcoin, is about $65,000. So $12,000 is a bargain measured in Bitcoin. I do have to maintain all the stuff that we're doing. Of course, we've got the studio and the website, and we plan on development. It is a one-time fee, and then you have a lifetime membership. It's my life, not yours. Now, hopefully I have many years. I'm trying to set this up so people can take over this vision when I pass on, because I don't know how long I'm going to be around. I came pretty close to exiting here the last several months, but I'm back and plan on developing this program. All right, so that's it. You'll have a solid foundation, and then I'll teach you some of the ins and outs. And we'll hone your technical skills. I'm always open for that. Everybody has their own. You don't need a lot of them. What you need is consistency. I recommend you have 5 or 6 indicators you look, and you act off of those. And then your last week, it's just the beginning, because now you're part of our group, and we're there for you. So that's the deal. I want to go look at the market briefly. Where's the trading view? Right there. Okay. All right. So I wanted to go. I was bearish. Let me. I'll put it on a different scale. Let me put it on the daily scale. Oh, let's see if I can. How do I update this reset chart? Okay. This is the daily. And I got bearish in here, particularly when we took out the 2-week low. In fact, if you look at this weekly low, that's kind of how I measure trends. And then you routed up above the week after you took out the 2-week low, which I always say that's a sell, and did it twice. And then we reversed and we took out the 2-week high here. A lot of people are bullish, and I know the reason. And I think that this probably is the case. I think it's very likely that we're going into a long-term trend that's going to just be out of this world, because we're reaching a hyperinflationary state. However, that said, I want to. There are some caveats. I still have not ruled out the possibility that we can go under 40,000, and the main reason I say that is it was just be very unusual if we go up without taking out the year's lows, which is down here under 40,000. So we could still be, this is the monthly, we could, and you got an 8 on the monthly 9. It's still very possible that we could have a sharp break. I don't think if it was the faster down and the faster it recovers, that would be very healthy. But it'd be, to me, and the other thing that's indicating this is the contango. I'm going to take you into BitMEX now. And one of the other reasons that, here's my current position. I don't have much on. I started with almost nothing, and I think I'm about 5 or 10x. If you go into the guild now, I know, so I think I'm number 3. Yeah, there's ugly old goat. And I do hold, I'm not a big one on shitcoin tokens, but I do hold. But you go here, you'll see I have over 100,000 BitMEX tokens. And the reason I do that is I actually get paid for making a market, and I trade enough it makes it worthwhile. So I maintain 100,000 BitMEX. It's not liquid, it's tied up in there, but I get a much lower commission rate. I actually get paid when I'm making a market. And so in that sense, there is a use case for Bitcoin. I only have an available balance of less than 5,000. I started out with, I think, 1,000, so I'm already about 5x. But this is the way you do it, guys. You start small, and hopefully, will I be able to run this into several 100,000 or a million? I actually went from, 5,000 to 1.7 million on that documented history. And, I don't know if I can do it again. I've done it time and time again, and so I have no reason. I'm very confident in my trading, so we'll see if I really am an ugly old goat. I think I am. We'll find out. And you'll be able to see all this and participate with me on this. We can do it. But one of the reasons that this is not a technical reason, but it is a fundamental reason. We are still at very large premiums over the market, the futures are. So if you notice, the perpetual contract has been trading at a discount. You see the Bitcoin actually, and it's about a $40 discount to the actual market. Now, part of that reason is because you do pay, for the most part, funding, although I notice I got paid for being long. Right now the funding rate is it's 0.01, that's normal. But here's the problem with the contango right now. It's the June is at 68. It's about a $600 premium. If you go out to December, you're at about a $5,000 premium, which what that does, it really reflects the interest rate and carrying charge. So you have higher interest rates, so that's normal. But it also, we have a much more sophisticated market. And professionals in this market have now learned to hedge. And hodlers are learning to hedge, and if you're a Bitcoin miner, they have to hedge. They really got hurt on that break from 60,000 down to 15, and I know miners that they never saw it coming, but I know that those miners that hedged their position did very well, because you could hedge even a 10 or 20% of your production and lock in a profitable year. And this is what it's all about. It's really, markets, futures markets are not made for speculators. Now, the Bitcoin market is a worthy speculation. It's a great speculation. But it's rough as a store of value, although it is a store of value. It's not like storing gold in the old days. It's a much more volatile market, and it really sucks as a medium of exchange. You don't want to use it as a medium of exchange, but I do think we're going to start seeing ways that you can trade Bitcoin that's on the Bitcoin standard. That will be the natural evolution of this thing. So, at any rate, if you have a chance, read that article. And if this is for you, sign up, schedule a call with me. We'll talk over, your trading experience. I will, because we're just starting this out. The price is $15,000 but I will knock that down 20% to 12,000 for I'll probably just do that for the first 6 weeks through June. Because this is something brand new. I've got it in my head. I've got most of the material I've put together, but you're going to be the first students, and so what you'll be determining, how we develop this thing, and so check that out, and that's it. Anything else we need to cover? Did I cover everything? Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Well, guys, it's good to be back. Eddie's here helping me out. I'm insisting that he join me on these videos. I'm going to be doing more and more of them, commenting more and more on Bitcoin, because I do have strong opinions about it, and we need sound money, and everybody's having a wide variety of opinions is a good thing. A lot of things we're doing now in Bitcoin that I think the direction is wrong, but maybe I'm the one that's wrong. I'm always open to that possibility. At any rate, just this note, I'm back. We're going to get more and more into what's going on out there. I've been out of it, but I'm not out of it anymore. So, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Check out the article. Check out It's Never Too Late for Bitcoin. Check out the Bootcamp. It's a very serious decision on your part. Again, if you're a trader and you wanna overcome and get over that hump, you know that you can do it, but you haven't been able to put it together. You can do it. It's really managing those funds more than anything, and being able to trade successfully regardless of the circumstances around you, and then to avoid some of those circumstances. Like I say, the problems I'm having personally right now. You know what? You got to take responsibility. I'm the man, I'm the husband, I'm the father, and I failed on this thing. And I'm responsible because I am the man, I am the husband, I am the father. And that's what you have to do on trading. I've seen so many times when you get wiped out in the market, if you traded and you've been wiped out, did you blame yourself, or did you blame, it's the manipulators, it's the exchange, it's always something else, it's always somebody else? And, that's kind of what Roger Vere's doing right now. Instead of accepting, hey, you know what? It's all me. I got to be responsible for this stuff. And, sometimes you just have to pick up the pieces and move on. And that's what I'm going to be doing now, and invite you to do it with me. So that's it. I'll see you next week. I'm going to start, I'm back alive, going to get healthier, and go from there.